City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Special beyond special.
Best player in the Premier League.
Captain Marvel. Drogba! Rooney! Oh, wonderful! That is one Derby Diamond.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs. This is episode 10. I am Dylan, alongside Grant and Mila as always. Today, little rundown of what we're going to do. We're going to do a match week 8 recap of the Premier League, and then do a little blind ranking game, and then finish off with a little preview of the biggest match in week 9, which is Arsenal-Liverpool. But I think it's the best to start with the biggest game this weekend, which includes Grant's club. So, Grant, you want to kind of take us away with your thoughts on Chelsea-Liverpool?
I'll definitely step up from last year's game at Anfield, and not that that's saying much. But I think it was a competitive game. I liked what the manager did in terms of the setup. Enzo, I know you guys loved seeing that lineup come out. Lavia, Caicedo. But I think the lineup was strong given the options that we had. Obviously, Cucurella, Fofana suspended. So interesting to see how that back four played out. I thought it was going to be Vega. They went Gusto at left back and kind of pushed him up into that 10 spot next to Sancho. So I liked the setup. I think Maresca did everything he could in that game. I mean, we conceded 8 shots compared to 28 last year. I mean, our 2 losses this year come to City and Liverpool. You'll live with that. I think there's other performances where we've had good performances all year. It's just about getting the points. But I'm starting to see a foundation get built, and I'm there. I'm there. Obviously, we want the points. Obviously, you want something out of that game, and we were very close to getting it. It's a game of fine margins. Obviously, there was some controversial refereeing, but to be frankly honest with you, couldn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? There were points at that game where we still could have taken it. It doesn't matter. Whether I think Sancho was fouled in the first half or not. Salah got knocked down in the box by Colwell. They didn't call it. You know what I mean? Those are 2 subjective plays. And then the stomp on Jones in the box, so that goes. But Sancho doesn't. It happens. That's how this game works. So I'm not going to sit here and whine about that. I don't think that's justified. Obviously, Tosin had an early scare, almost got sent off. But again, I think the game comes down to really fine margins. And I don't know. I don't really want to blame Robert Sanchez for losing this game. I don't think that's fair. But I think a top keeper doesn't allow that Jones chance to go. So those are the margins when you're competing at this level. And clearly, this team's on its way there, but it's not there yet. So I still think there's lots to work off of that performance, and I think top 4 still should be the goal. I think you'd be crazy to kind of say otherwise, or, oh, this is the same Chelsea as last year. I think from what I've seen, we've turned a corner. But, yeah, what do you guys think?
Well, hold on. I have a question for you first before we go over to us.
Get the interrogation going.
If, given that you had 2 suspensions, these guys are usually starting, how do you think that would have changed it, the result?
I mean, I think I wouldn't even say it changes the result, because I think the big change came in the midfield, because when we started Enzo Caicedo together, Enzo's getting pushed up as a 10 in possession, and then you're inverting a fullback. We didn't invert the fullback into the pivot this game. We let Lavia and Caicedo sit next to each other, which I think was amazing. I think Lavia, in the 50 minutes he played, top. Caicedo absolutely bossed the midfield. Yes, we did not win the game. He was the best midfielder on the field that day, I think. Jones was fantastic as well. I think he took Palmer out of that game almost single-handedly. But Caicedo showed why we paid what we paid for him. So I don't even think that changes too much. I mean, maybe Cucurella inverts, but again, I think he was going to start Caicedo, Lavia anyways. I think we were talking about that before the lineups came out, even a few days before. I want control in the middle, and when you're kind of just mixing and matching in terms of in possession, out of possession, where Enzo, you're pushing up, Cucurella's in here, up, get back. That causes a lot, and especially a team like Liverpool, they can kill you in transition. So I think that was the idea. And I think, everything I saw tactically, I guess, so kind of back to your question, I think it looked great. I mean, the first half, we were easily just getting the ball out to our wingers, no problems asked, and then go take your man on. That's the whole point of the system. I don't know which manager said it, but from essentially build up all the way to the final third, that's where the coach comes in. And then once it's the final third, that's up to the brilliance of the individuals, to make something happen. I mean, Sancho got shut out. Trent shut him down. Came off an half. Neto looked good, but I think we definitely could have taken our chances better in the second half. I don't think we did too much. I think the first 20, 25 minutes, it was all us. The last 20 minutes of that first half, all them. Second half was tightly contested. But yeah, I don't think that changes the result. I think the better team won on the day.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. But man, I like what I'm seeing. Jackson looks good in front of goal. Caicedo playing those balls through. Just perfect weight on the pass. I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing. But we got another tough run of fixture. I mean, this is just a start. I know we got. Do we have United? Tough per se right now, but we never play well against United away. You guys won 2-1 last year, but that might have been like the most lopsided 2-1 I think I've ever seen when we played away last year.
Last year was a blur. We ended up winning, and I remember it just being a shit show the entire. Like
we were
both
awful.
teams were terrible.
Yes.
Both
but, I mean,
teams were terrible.
We got Newcastle back to back in the league, then the cup, and then we got United away, and then we got Arsenal at home. So I mean, yeah, those are some tough games on paper, especially. But I'm very encouraged with what I saw. Reece James is back for now. Man, like you just got to keep it together, stick together. I think everything looks great. Man.
Yeah,
I can't believe I'm not complaining about 8 things for every game last year. I was so angry after every game. But
yeah. I know, Mila, you got limited visibility to the game, but do you have any thoughts to go off of?
I honestly, no. I do want to know about Sancho a little bit more. Was he? Would you have started someone else?
No,
hindsight?
I wouldn't have started someone else in hindsight because in hindsight, okay, that's different. But going into that game, like he looked good. I think the thing with Sancho, he's not going to be one of those guys where you get him in that situation and he's just going to go get his guy. He's a link-up guy, right? Madueke, when you see him get the ball and he sees Robertson one-on-one, he's going at him, right? That's the difference in the style of play between those guys. I was honestly shocked Mudryk was not even in the squad, and I know he's always a talking point, whatever. I think Mudryk would have done a job. I thought at least have him in the squad, but again, it's a big squad, lots of guys competing. But yeah, Sancho did not have his best game. I think he would probably tell you that. I think anyone who watched that game would tell you that. Trent did. He answered tons of questions defensively. I think Sancho, to his credit, did help a lot defensively to kind of keep Trent out of that game from playing a lot of dangerous passes in areas that he likes to. But, I mean, again, you're a winger. Your job is more on the offensive side, I'd say. Obviously, his defensive contributions are appreciated. But, yeah, he didn't get the job done. So, is what it is, and I think that's the beauty of the squad. I think Neto looked really bright coming on. I know he prefers to go off the right, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a start against Newcastle. Yeah, man, it's manager's problem to fix, not me, but I like a lot of the players in the squad. Like, I'm not opposed to any of these guys playing versus last year where it was 3 or 4 people every game. I'm like, why is he playing there when X is on the bench? So, in Maresca, we trust.
It's interesting. In the last episode, we talked about it. We ultimately said that the right side for Liverpool and the left side for Chelsea were going to be the determining factors in the game, and that's how it ended up being.
That's
right?
Exactly what happened. Yep.
Salah had 2 goal contributions, and he was yeah.
No, he was amazing. I mean, he had way too much space. I mean, before that pass was even played in for that second goal, like I just knew, right? Like he has that ability on the ball. You cannot give him that opportunity. Of course he's going to pick that pass out. I mean, Jones, when he got that penalty taken away at the end of the first half, there's just all these chances. So, like, towards the end of the first half was really shaky. But, yeah, Salah's a top player. We all know that. And, yeah, he showed up. Our left-hand side didn't have it.
It was the call that he had to make with Cucurella out and stuff like that. And I thought the Reece James call was also a big one to throw him into a game like that. Ultimately... You could. At
the end of the day, he's the captain.
No. But what I'm saying is,
I understand where you're coming from, but
I
also think the fact that
December.
he has the armband is like, all right. As soon as he's ready, he has to be on the pitch, especially for a game like this.
It ultimately ended up costing him 3 points, though, right? He misses his guy at the back post. Curtis Jones comes in, and as much as we want to blame Sanchez, like it does come down to Reece being out of position and being tired, right? So maybe it's not the issue that he played. But it's the issue of how long he played, and maybe he's not fit enough to play. Because he looked gassed towards the end of that 50, and I was like, this is just coming out of halftime. Like, are we really going to keep pushing him here? But I don't know. I don't know.
didn't
It was
see.
only one.
I didn't watch. I was shocked when he was starting, to be honest. I mean, especially given his injury history, he hasn't started a game since December of 2023.
Yeah.
Given his injury history, it's like, okay, we want to take this slow. So I think manager came out and said, like, Lavia and Reese were 45 minutes to an hour tops. And he had those substitutions. He had a triple change lined up before the second goal.
Yeah.
Vega, Badiashile, who also, quick shout out to him. I mean, he had a pretty awful year all in all last year, given what we saw when he first came in. Didn't step a foot wrong. I think that was a perfect opportunity for him to just have another bad moment. He was really good. So that was a good positive. But back on to Reece James, I think when he was on the ball, the quality was still there. He wasn't shaky at all in possession. He looked really confident on the ball. I just think it comes down to the match sharpness. He has not played very many competitive games, obviously, since he was hurt. But the past few years, he's missed so much time. So I think that comes down more to match sharpness. Again, kind of coincides to your point. Maybe he was tired. I think it's more of like, oh, I haven't been in this situation in so long. Like game intensity. You're at Anfield. It's not practice anymore.
Right.
So I'm not
Well, to Dylan's
particularly
point,
sweating
That's
on it.
I
that's
think
why
that's
it's
what he
such a
was
big
saying.
call.
Yeah.
Like
No,
to put a
no,
guy
yeah,
who
for
hasn't
sure.
played that many games against the team that's currently at the top of their game. It was a decision that was made, and I wasn't angry at it, but it
It's bold.
coincides to the left versus right point that like they ultimately. I don't know. It was tough. And I do want to sneak this in here because he doesn't get praise for being a good defender ever, but Trent was
He was
top.
great. I
He
said
was
that for him.
he was so good.
I gave him his credit. And I always said he was a shit defender.
So good.
That's all I've been saying. He was very good.
This
He
is
was
the
very
first
good.
game and I don't remember a time ever seeing it where I was like, wow, Trent didn't do much going forward, but as a defender,
Right.
like we're talking just
Right.
defensive
He's top.
attributes. He really
You
did
know
shut
why?
down that side. And this
Because
is kind
Mel's
of
tracking back, bro.
this is going to go to my point.
No.
Is we talked about Sancho not starting and how we didn't think that
Yeah.
was a good fit in this game, and he was bad. I
Yeah.
don't want to hear defensive work rate because it wasn't needed.
Trent didn't do anything offensively. You said that.
No. What I'm
do
saying
you
is
attribute
like
that to?
we talked about how Chelsea's wingers hadn't been contributing, and Chelsea were full like being almost too centrally focused on Palmer and Jackson, which they both Jackson contributed. But when you have such a focus on those players and the wingers aren't contributing with the amount of money that was spent on wingers, it becomes difficult for me to be
25 on
like
Sancho.
plus his
We
wages.
spent 25 on Sancho. Oh, we're
That's
paying
a lot
100K.
but that's a lot of money. Like still for a winger that hasn't been prem proven at United, this was a thing that happened multiple times at United, and I was expecting it to happen in this game, and it happened. And we talked about it. Like you needed a guy to go over the top and beat Trent, and he became
Of course,
super
I wanted
timid.
Mudryk starting, bro. You saw the Mudryk cameo at Anfield.
Or Neto, we
What's
just
the best game I've ever heard?
someone direct, right? And there were so many
That's how
times
much
where
good.
Sancho was one-on-one with Trent. One-on-one, and I saw him just immediately turn back and play it to a midfielder. I was like, well, you have Trent on an island.
Granted, I didn't see it, but you guys are talking Trent had this defensive performance. I also asked about Sancho, and you did make the point that he doesn't really take on his man. I think it's really easy for a fullback to look defensively sound when they're not being taken on. So if it was just a couple...
3. I think he had 3 attempted
He had
dribbles.
4. And
there you go.
Trent had 4 tackles, sorry. That's what I was going to say. He had a sound defensive performance. Unlike just from
hold on. I do think Trent was good, by the way. Like I said that before you even I'm on that page. It's a completely different story if that pen's given. And I'm not complaining for that pen.
No,
I'm not saying
fair.
it was a stonewall pen, but this narrative could very well be, well, Sancho won a pen, Palmer slotted it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not going to go too deep into that. But I think Sancho had an underwhelming game. He also had a few
passive
overwhelming,
is what I'm saying.
But he had a few good performances. I'm not going to jump the gun and just be like, oh yeah, he's the same player. He's going to stink it up. Like, no, I think I've seen a lot of encouraging stuff from him. And yeah, first really bad game for us. But
I just think that he's a passive player, and it's just not this. It just doesn't feel like this Chelsea team because they're just not. Everyone else is not passive. Everyone is so goal hungry, and I just don't like the fit. Is what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say he hasn't played good or bad. It doesn't fit the profile of player that I'm expecting with the rest of the squad.
I do think
but
sometimes
maybe that's
you need a little change. Yeah, you need that change.
Yeah, which is why we have such a good squad. I think it makes sense to have. I mean, I clearly, based off what we're seeing, and not that anything's been said or whatever, Mudrik's clearly fourth in the pecking order out wide, but behind Neto, Madueke, Sancho, right? Like they're going to put Neto on the left before Mudrik, right? So his trust hasn't been earned yet. But I think even that profile, Neto's profile, Madueke, like you have so many different wingers on this team that add different attributes. So I think in a game where you're playing against a low block and you need to link up, you need to create triangles, throw Sancho in there. He'll find a pass. If you're playing a team like Liverpool, you want a guy like Mudrik to scare that fullback. You want him to be running behind the line. We have guys who can play those passes. So, yeah, I see it. But to be fair to Liverpool, they did not play that high line that we thought they would. They kind of just sat back.
No,
So, I mean,
they game planned it. Yeah,
they respect us because we're massive. I don't know what else to say. No,
they
won the game, but
this is a different
they're looking at us a lot
Liverpool.
different than they were last year, bro. I'll take it.
This is a
Leave it here
different
with
Liverpool.
something.
And
for sure.
It was
and I went on
definitely
that
a win for you guys as well.
Yeah.
Obviously not statistically in the points, but I think that was a good game to come out of there with.
There's a lot,
especially after the Forest drop off. So it was like, it was just, this is the first big game that has lived up to the hype in the sense of it was like a good back and forth. It was statistically very similar. It just came down to Liverpool has been here and we're ready for this test, right? And Chelsea weren't. And that's the evolution of the two clubs, right? Like this is a Champions League and Premier League winning side versus a team that's still becoming that. So I'm not trying to say that it wasn't.
Final losing side against the same fucking team. That's what we are. But one step at a time. Yeah, bro. Those are the growing pains. That was an embarrassing game last year, and then we got embarrassed at Anfield. So these are the growing pains. But I think we're on the right track. I'm not worried about it. I do think.
I was gonna say my last point on the game is the duo of Caicedo and Lavia was awesome. In terms of work rate and energy and athleticism.
So good, dude.
And I think it complements what they do going forward so much better than with Enzo, because that's my agenda. But
of course.
I genuinely do believe that because it just, when you have that forward thinking front four, really, you kind of can make up for the lack of work that Palmer does on the back end. With those two, they're like literally two Tasmanian devils just like running around the entire field.
Defensive work rate. Respect Palmer's defensive work rate.
I'm not going to respect it.
He doesn't press like a maniac, but he does win the ball a lot in the final third off people because he reads the game well.
Those are like glimpses. I'm talking about like when the ball gets turned over and he's walking back. Like
he's not.
Those two make up for his lack of work rate. Well, if he's doing this
You said work rate and described his defensive awareness, so I don't understand what
he presses with Jackson. We do this. Look, okay.
No, pressing structure is different. I'm talking about just like it makes up for the lack. If those two aren't there, it probably
they work harder than the Enzo Caicedo pivot.
Sure.
Yeah.
So for this particular game, it works better.
Yeah, and I think it's a talking point. I think they're all top midfielders, but kind of back on what I said earlier, Lavia's allowed to sit in that pivot with Caicedo versus Enzo. He hasn't been given that opportunity. We want to see if you can learn this new position that you've never played before, which is with the ball, you're pressing up. You're a 10. Go make runs past the final line. As soon as we lose the ball, get the fuck back. Run back to the pivot. So that is not a role that he's going to have Caicedo do next to Lavia or vice versa. It's only Enzo out of the three that's being experimented with that. When you look at what he can do, and again, it's not what he has done. It's just you think of the player, what is he capable of? In theory, he should be able to, right? But it's a very difficult job. Gundo did it masterfully when you guys won the treble, but that's not an easy role to play. So I do think given time that might work. Having said that, I think the Lavia Caicedo pivot works right now. So yeah, I prefer it. And that's tough because I like Enzo. I think he's a good player, but I don't know if I got to it, but I think after this year, you're going to see some tough calls and players are going to leave that you probably wouldn't see coming just because
Enzo,
I think he could very well be one of them because he's too quality to not be playing every week. And I think he does well in a better league. He does better in a different league. I think we said that Serie A.
I do think Dylan and I give him a bit of shit. I don't think he's that bad, but I do think his fit in your guys' system makes him a lot worse of a player.
He's
to
a
the
top
eye.
player.
I 100% agree with that.
So I do think he could go on to have a really good career elsewhere. But at Chelsea, I think Maresca's trying to find a way to get the best out of his abilities, and it's just not the abilities that he needs in the team right now.
Yeah.
So that's probably where that confusion for the role is coming in.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him in the pivot proper, like as the way Lavia was able to sit. But again, Lavia is just, I mean, he was so
that's
good.
the thing. You
Like,
don't
he
need
was
to run
so
him there,
good.
and he's costing you so he cost you guys so much. It's just it
Enzo
doesn't make
does.
sense. No, he cost
Money,
sense.
for
Like
sure.
money.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's an interesting talking point because I do think his presence is a miss. And again, these aren't going to be stats and not going to show you anything. When we're playing those filthy low blocks and you have Enzo far enough out to be able to kind of see what's going on, he will find passes over the top, breaking lines, and then we just don't finish them. So that's also something that he adds. I think better than, mind you, Caicedo and Lavia can absolutely pass the ball, but he's to me the best out of the three there. But again, Lavia, he was receiving the ball facing his own goal on the 18-yard line or right near it multiple times. I didn't worry about it once. Like, he is so sound in that first phase, going in, making tackles. Like, him and Caicedo next to each other, I mean, that is gross. So, yeah, I think it's our best midfield. Yeah.
I mean, my only thing with the end zone, Mile brings up the cost because it is important.
For sure.
This was like the second biggest game of the year, probably the biggest game in terms of what you guys had been seeing, and he went with the guy that's played how many games?
For Chelsea?
Just in the last 2 years, how many games has he
Yeah,
played?
for Chelsea, he's played
He had
two
his
competitive
injury.
games.
No.
He was I understand.
That first game against City, he looked just as good, bro. Like,
This is to my point. He's played in the two biggest games for Chelsea because Enzo is not up to that standard.
Enzo played in that first game too.
So it was those two instead of Caicedo, right?
No, all three of them played.
Right. Okay, and it didn't work.
Yeah, he just put the best players out there that first game.
So
I think that first game was so much different tactically compared to every other game. The way we've approached it, it was interesting for sure.
It's just his fit isn't. It's not there, and I like their pivot idea might make sense in theory, but clearly I don't think that he's not
They've seen
flexible. The
something.
manager, he's
They've
definitely
seen
tried
something.
that in training, and it hasn't worked.
Sure,
because you
Yeah, I
wouldn't
think
throw it out there if
defensively-
it wouldn't.
I don't
He's a
want to
good
use the
manager.
word shocking. I don't want to use the word shocking, but like Enzo does whiff a lot of tackles or get bypassed. So like, yeah, that's a thing that was a minor issue. Especially when he first came in, he was our sixth, and that was the best we've ever seen out of him in Chelsea. Like, deep lying playmaker, but obviously you need legs to cover you. Like, imagine a Conte Enzo pivot. They were on the same team for a bit, believe it or not. But like, that's the type of engine you need next to him.
But isn't Caicedo
defensively
kind of
to cover.
that?
I mean, obviously no one's Conte, but in terms of
You
the
can make
engine defensively, yes.
in athleticism,
But
it's similar.
last year, at least, and I don't even want to talk about that prick that managed us, but Enzo was just getting pushed up. And Poch is just like, run. You're the second striker in the pivot. He was starting in the pivot and then being instructed to make runs past the striker. So that left Caicedo out to dry. Obviously made Enzo look like shit too. So I don't even want to think too much about last year's performances when he did that to him. But yeah, I mean, this year, I think this manager we have is top, and he's not letting him play in the pivot. So he must have seen something.
I don't know. Every time I watch Chelsea, it's not like he jumps off the team sheet and doesn't jump off on the screen. And
I hold him to a high standard. Yeah, I think he's top because of what I saw when he first came
everyone
in.
should.
And last year, he was decent. Was he worth 100? No. When he first came in, he immediately was like, wow, this is our best player.
Yeah.
Like, every game he was playing almost for months. And then obviously he played through injury a bit last year, but I don't want to look too much into that. It's not the same. Absolutely. I agree. I still think he's a solid player, but yeah, the standards drop. So you got to hold him to a high standard. I think in general, a lot of the standards at the club drop. So got to bring those back up if you're aspiring to be successful.
With the talk of standards dropping, I think we should segue now into Arsenal because the standards are clearly not there, right? Like,
well played, Dylan.
Three red cards in 8 matches, and if we want to debate them, go ahead. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they were 8 that were given by referees, and there's no agenda against this club because why would the Premier League want them not to be successful? It's just not the
city, man. It's very straightforward.
No.
Well,
right, yeah.
To Dylan's
they love
point.
us.
Right,
Yeah,
the
why would-
the Prem, who is currently trying to sue and be a part of a legal battle with City, wants them to be successful. That makes
Yeah,
a
that's
ton of
stupid as
sense.
fuck.
Well, bro, it's all a diversionary tactic.
Right, good point. This is a cover for them to make City.
Yeah, each case
champions.
that they gave to us was for each time that they've rigged the game for us.
Right, right.
Oh, yeah.
This is how people think.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's boring. There's nothing. Again, we're gonna say the same shit. No Saka, no Odegaard, no
They're a
party.
different team. They're a different team.
It's
pragmatic.
They're
like barely a team.
They're
They're
a
a
completely
fucking.
different team. It's shocking, but we talked about it before the year even started. Like, they have zero depth. When you're competing at the very top, you need to have the ability to rotate. You need to have quality depth. I mean,
Gabriel Jesus, bro.
Chelsea are building a project. They aren't there yet. They have two squads that they can completely rotate. Not to say every
Let's
team.
not
Not
use
to
Chelsea.
say every
They're not
team.
a. They're
Yeah.
not a good example. Let's use
Not-
City because that's
I
their
guess
benchmark.
My
Right, this is a team
my
they're
point on
competing
that.
with.
Yeah, I guess my point on that was even a team who understands they're not at that level yet, they're building towards that level of depth or that level of quality in depth, not in terms of numbers, but the quality in the players. Because we've talked about City don't have a huge squad; they just have a quality squad. So that's the difference. With all due respect to Raheem Sterling and what he's accomplished in his career, that's not. You can't. Oh, Saka's hurt. Let's throw Sterling in. Not that you can replace Saka or you can replace Odegaard, but yeah, they just have absolutely nothing going forward without those guys. It's shocking. It's shocking. Like it really is because I hate them. They were really good the past 2 years,
You could.
and
Okay.
they look completely different. They don't even look like. I think I said it before we started, but the red card was about 30 minutes in. But the first 30 minutes of that game didn't feel like a team competing for the title versus a mid-table team.
Dude,
Felt like
look
it
at
could
the
have went either way.
midfield they put out. They put out
Yeah, it's
basically 3 defensive midfielders.
Yeah.
Like
In
that's all I have to say.
against
Like,
Bournemouth.
what do you want?
Against
What are you
Bournemouth.
expecting
Against Bournemouth.
out of this?
They started
What do you
with
want
that
to happen?
against
You want a
Bournemouth.
set piece. I understand. Yeah.
Starting Wanyeri. That kid's class.
But like this is what we were talking
Something.
about earlier. It's not sustainable to get these set pieces. They want to talk about the referee decisions, but they keep fucking doing the same shit to get red cards. Obviously, this one was a little different. They're still out there time wasting.
Was it a
and
red?
Getting booked
Was that
for
a red
it.
for you, Saliba?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Okay.
you're getting red
but
cards.
like, yes, they're doing that to themselves at this
Mhm.
point, unless they pull out something where there's some corruption. But as of right now, they're doing it to themselves. They're hurting themselves. Then they're gonna pull the we can't play football with 10 men. You're basically going out with a game plan to get 10 men. If you're defending all game, it takes one mistake to fucking lose your head too. It doesn't have to be these time-wasting tactics. If you're defending all game, all it takes is one step out of place, and it's a red card, and you're off. And then what do you have going forward? You have fucking nothing going forward. You have
Kai
no
Havertz.
creative players. I'm looking at the lineup right now. There's not a single creative player on there. There's a guy that they just praying for a Trossard banger at this point.
It's
I
crazy,
don't know.
but yeah,
I just don't see it.
this might be
It's
a drop
not
off.
inspiring to me.
Obviously, they're going to get some guys back, but
Oh, of course. Once they have Odegaard and Saka, it's a different story. They're phenomenal players. They're going to bring up that team immensely. But as of right now, this is not a title fucking competing team to me.
fair on them for getting results with what they've had, though, because now that we're kind of seeing the performances a little bit more, I guess more
Purple
time.
patches, bro.
But they've done very well to get the points that they've gotten.
It's about football's about form though, and
Agreed.
they had good form for a bit, and it's starting to trickle off. It might not be bad form necessarily, but they're not going to be pulling away those wins all the time.
I'd say they've gotten lucky in terms of the performances they've had without those guys compared to the results they've had without those guys. But I mean, if they don't come back soon, surely they plateau. So
this is, I think, to your guys' point, this is more of like a club issue for me. Like, they let go of a bunch of attacking talent, and then they didn't bring anything in. They brought in like 2 defensive-minded players, and so then, like, was Sterling the only attacking player they signed?
Yes.
So look, I mean, like, what is it? Saka played a ton of fucking games, right?
Yeah.
And I'm use City as their benchmark because that's who they're competing with. They went, hey, you know what? Foden has played a ton of games this season. We're going to have this kid lined up to play on the wing for us. And he's going to compete, and he's going to have a bunch of minutes, and he's going to get Foden ready for the season.
Not to
And
mention, like,
the
freak injury to Oscar Bob, like, we had depth set up for this season.
Sterling wasn't even a player.
We know it's long. We see that the players are complaining about these things. Obviously, the only person we didn't do that support for is Rodri, and look where it got us. But I think a lot of teams are going to run into these issues other than Chelsea, which I will give it to them at this point. No one really saw them having this many players as a good thing. When you look at it, you're rotating 2 squads. No one's really going to get overworked unless training is overworking them.
Yeah.
Or they just can't deal with some little niggles. But, like, I can't see anything right now until Saka and Odegaard are back.
They didn't even plan on signing Sterling. I just deeped that because like we tried to offload him like quick. Like, we're paying half his wages. Like that wasn't part of the plan.
It was
I
a panic.
I think we should stop shitting on them a little bit and then go into what would you guys do to change that lineup? Like
you can't. No, it stems deeper.
Like,
I
that's
think
the thing.
the recruitment was so bad this window in terms of adding on. Like you don't get complacent when, let alone you win something before you even win anything. Why would you get complacent before you've won anything? You would think the ambition in terms of signings goes up, but yeah, they went and got another center back / left back. They got a DM. They got Sterling. Yeah, it makes no sense. I
think they take defense wins championships too, literally.
Yeah, wrong sport, lad.
If we're talking about changes to the squad, and I think this has to rely a little bit on Jesus playing, but I think that they got to move Havertz back into the midfield for now.
I agree.
For now,
Yeah,
because they just don't have enough of a creative
player.
Let's
see that. That's a good call.
Okay, Grant, I know there's an agenda against Havertz, but at the end, hold on. No, because you have an agenda.
Midfielders, like what?
Just hold on. Let me say my point here. At the end of last season, when he was playing in the midfield, he actually was putting in some decent performances, and that whether or not that's just him getting a G or GA every once in a while, that's still important. Right now, they're literally lining up with a low block as a team trying to contend for a title. That's not the Premier League anymore. There's too many good teams. There's too many good teams across the league for there to be an easy match anymore. Look, like Wolves and City, or there was a tough game.
in 18th.
Right, it's a tough league, and the margins are this thin, and so when you go out to win a game 1-0, that's not going to work anymore. It just isn't. And there's so much talent in that squad where that should work. And Arteta's got to be flexible, not just play 8 defensive-minded players. It's not going to work.
You can't. I mean, it's impossible now. This is what he built. This is what he has to work with. So
yeah,
I think he's going to have to steer into the skid at this point. I think more so my question was, like, in January, you have to go get a creative player. You can't have 2. If Grant's not even counting Havertz as one, they have 2.
If we're talking
the answer would be 3.
If we're talking attackers,
that's without Havertz.
Oh, without Havertz too. Okay.
Yes, they have 2 without Havertz. And they're both hurt right now, and overworked. Who do you go get in January?
Well, who's on?
You're not going to get a top attacker. You're not getting a top attacker though in January.
Just steal those Blue Co recruitment notes. That's what they should do.
Maybe it's more of like
go find a gem.
Is there a midfielder that is?
It's not going to happen like that. You don't throw a gem.
They're going to have to spend
find
40
a
or
gem
50?
in January to go win you a title race.
What do you spend? 40 or 50? What do you think that gets you in January in terms of like a relatively creative midfielder? What can you do?
What good creative players leaving their club then?
You can't spend a 50 million. You can't spend 50 million in January.
They don't got it like that?
Price goes up. No, price goes up in January.
Like that. Okay.
Also, no one's going to come in to sit behind Odegaard. So, like, this is the issue they've created for themselves. They got to get that depth. They build it from the club. I haven't seen anyone come in and show that creative prowess that they have. I don't see where they can go from here until next summer.
Yeah.
So,
long
season incoming.
Yeah, some people got pulled like that in January, some don't, I guess. But realistically, I forgot which one you said it. They kind of played themselves. Like, this is what they built. This is what the
Yeah.
manager wanted.
They
I'm not
look
saying
how
they shouldn't have trusted Arteta. I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying this is the guy you went with. This is what he wanted. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they're stuck with what they got.
it's definitely hindsight, but letting go of Smith Rowe right now looks so dumb.
No, they
It
had
looks
to.
so dumb.
Because he needed to
Yep.
play. He needed to play.
But like,
it was
that's the
inevitable.
thing is like it's a hindsight thing that I'm
Even
saying,
though
but like
Reece
he would
Nelson
be
does,
playing.
we got them.
He would be playing, and Nketiah would be playing right now. I
Probably
just
not. Nketiah's not playing right now. I don't think they would play him. They're running a 4-4-2. It's Havertz and
But
Trossard.
that's the thing is if he's healthy, they can move Havertz into the midfield. I think that's what he wants to do. He just doesn't have an option there. He can't. He doesn't have a striker. He doesn't have a striker.
Links to Vlahovic today.
Yeah, but he's not leaving.
That's a
January.
long time for waiting. No,
Yeah.
exactly. You got to
Wasn't
wait
it
till
like 3
summer.
years ago? I'm talking about Vlahovic to Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think
Every year.
that train has passed the station. They should have gotten Gyökeres. I don't know why they didn't go after him. His name disappeared all summer. Window ends. He's still banging goals. Like what?
Look,
I'm
we're
sorry,
all
I
massive fans of Jonathan David. If they were serious about their issue at striker, that's the guy to go get. He's out of That's the type of profile player they got to get. Someone out of contract that a team would be willing to let go because they can get some money for him.
That's a good point. That's how they got the mighty Jorginho off us.
It's just one of those moves that they're gonna have to make, and that's it. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. Clearly, I could
totally see them doing that though. They're so cheap sometimes.
I hope they don't get David.
It's interesting.
I hope they don't get David.
All right,
let's move on.
Yeah, let's move to City because that's obviously what I've been saying.
City
2-1 John Bone Stones.
I think I celebrated more than Mila.
I didn't watch the game. I caught the last 15, so I'm
my
really
favorite players performed. I want to talk about our wingers to start. I think the way we started out with, it was Sabio on the right, Doku on the left. That was the way we should have approached this game. They looked a lot more dangerous. Our midfield, I think, was the issue going forward. I'm going to stick with the wingers for now. I told you guys earlier in the game that I thought they were our best defenders. I think a lot of that comes with just the aggression and the speed that they come back with. They were doing a really good job to clear up some of those counters. And I think right now they're going to have to do a lot more of that because of the way we're setting up transitionally, not good. And it's going to make our defenders look a little worse. We're the leakiest team in the league right now, though. So something needs to happen. I've seen a lot of people talking about Rico coming out and putting a Kanji in at right back. We'll go back to the 4 center backs. Grant makes a face. I don't like it either, but...
So who is anyone in that back line going into midfield if you go 4 center backs?
Yeah, of course,
Gavardio.
Gavardio.
No, bro, he's your best winger. He's your best winger, man. He is taking the piss.
He's
really
good.
I said it yesterday, but like...
I didn't say... No.
No, I did.
I said best defender. I said our wingers were our best defenders.
No,
That's what I was saying.
He's your best winger. That's what I said.
And the fullbacks were the best
the
wingers.
fullbacks are best winger.
I remember when we were linked to him, we offered $90 million. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? And then he goes to City, doesn't start off that hot, as a left back now. Yeah, and now he just starts banging right-footed goals. I'm sure you saw it on Twitter. It was like a 45-second clip. It's just his goal catalog, and I was like,
"It's
what
beautiful.
The fuck is this left-footed
it's like
center back
very
doing?
majestic.
Yeah, bro, he's nasty.
Not to mention that he's a big man. He can run fast. He's
a
good defender, and he's still learning.
I
think
young.
He was the next thing I wanted to talk about. I'm wearing the jersey right now,
he's so good.
I'm really happy with him. He's one of the brightest spots that we've had.
Yeah, because you guys
obviously
need goals.
There's a lot of bright spots, but in the terms of the team developing into the future, I think he's going to play a massive role. And I do think his qualities help make up for a little bit of what we're lacking with Rodri when he does step up into the midfield bit. So yeah,
I like Nunes. I thought he looked good.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, he could be one of those guys who deputizes. Not to say he's not going to play the 6, but he'll fill in when he needs to.
He wouldn't play the 6, but he would play along one of those slower guys, Gundo or Kova.
I like what he can bring. I mean, it takes time to adopt to that system. I just don't think he was ready for that move, if you will, in terms of what his brain could comprehend football wise, but I think ability wise, like, I mean, there's still a player in there naturally, so like it's up to see if he can really adapt or not. Usually that second year is when they figure it out, but I think it can be a big season for him.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about him playing a larger role in the coming games, more so just because Kova and Gundo can't really recover that quickly. Kova's a
They're older.
little quicker. I don't know if I'd consider him a slow player. He's pretty quick going forward. When it comes coming back, he's not quick.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to the positions quick enough.
I know.
Nunes is pretty rapid, and he's got work rate. So I think that's, if Pep wants to utilize that, I could totally see that next to either Gundo or Kova. It just is more so his ball playing ability, and if he can do it in the bigger games.
Right.
Dylan, you want to talk about Haaland?
It's actually funny. That was the whole thought that has been on my mind for the last like 10 minutes. That's really funny. How did you know that I was thinking that the whole? That's
Bro, he knew
So-
I was
No,
thinking
you.
of Ola Aina, bro. Like, just
That's
don't question
crazy.
it anymore, bro.
I think it's. I'll touch on Holland, but I think it's more of a piece on
Oh.
City and the championship mentality. Is I was concerned going into the like stretch of games, like what happens when Holland isn't performing? Like, is there going to be a drop off from the team in general, and like, can they overcome that? And I don't even know. Like, the answer is always yes at this point, and the answer was yes in this case. Is like, look, he hasn't scored in a couple matches. Screw it. We're gonna get a couple of other guys that are gonna perform and pick up the slack. And championship, pedigree. Really, I mean, look, Stones is coming in and out of the squad, and we were talking about like him this year, and like, what's he gonna be like? And then he has 2 4-point saving victories at the end of matches. Like, that's what United was built on, right? It was Fergie time and like winning games when maybe you're not playing your best, but you scrape it out at the end because you're working harder than the other team, and that stuff matters when you're winning titles. And City's got it down to some weird fucking science where it's like, I knew it was gonna happen. They got the corner. I was like, it's happening. Here it is.
The only question,
Agree,
question mark I think for City, because on the outside looking in, like Dylan said, they'll figure it out. They'll win again. If I were a City fan, I think the only thing in my head would be like, it's a little worrying, and I know you've mentioned this to me. That Holland's our only goal source. Like, if it's not him bagging, is it going to be Vardiol cutting in and 25 yards out with his right foot? Or so I guess if you wanted to speak on that a little bit.
I was going to touch on this, like, exactly. Yeah. We talked about Arsenal all season, so I think it's only fair that I say the same thing. It's not sustainable. Haaland scoring goals at that rate is not sustainable. This is why we've been so good in the past. Some of our best teams that I've seen, the whole team's putting up ridiculous numbers. It's not just 1 or 2 guys. So I think to keep our consistency at the top, we need to find a way to get that going again. It's going to be hard with Gundogan, who's aging. He's not going to have that output. Also, I think I saw esteemed company talk about it. He was saying that last time Gundogan was here, he was playing with some of the best players in the world at their, like, KDB was a little more fit, a little quicker. Rodri was fit, not overworked. Like, he had a lot of different surroundings for him. He's now 2 years older, a year and a half older, whatever, and he's working with less. So I think I've been a little harsh on him. We need to give him time, but I don't know. I could see him getting displaced out of the lineup in the coming weeks.
Yeah, like you said, I think that comes with time. It's still early in him coming back. I think he's a top quality player. We've seen it for so long, but is this a continued run or is this just a bad patch of form? Like, so it's still so early, but a good point.
But yeah, my point there kind of went off on a tangent, but it's not sustainable.
No. Holland's top and he picks up the other guys, but now they need to pick him up.
Exactly. But it's nice to have someone like Vardiol that can do something like that. I'm not expecting that from him.
Right.
Ever. If he does it, cherry on top. But I'm never, ever going into a game going, Vardiol's going to score a bang today.
I'm going to start fucking expecting it soon. But
so when they're not getting chances to Haaland, that's the scary part for me. It's not so much that he's not putting them away. It's that he's not getting any chances. We had 0 big chances created, I think. All individual brilliance, a good cross from Foden, and a good effort by Stones to get that in, but like that cannot. It
really
can't
good
be
corner
expected
delivery from Foden, you would say. I don't know. Taking corners is pretty difficult, man. Those are pretty good assists to get.
I'll take it. Boom.
There's just there's a discipline to City. There just is. Look,
They have the mentality to never say die. They're always going to go try to score until the final whistle. Doesn't matter if there's 5 seconds left on the clock. They're going to go try to do it. So I think in that sense, yes. But like, there's going to be days where people just don't step up, and I know we're going to drop points because of it. Probably in the next couple of weeks. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, this is a point to all teams, and kind of just a state of the Premier League. Like, there really isn't like a terrible side in the Premier League anymore. Like, every team has so much money to spend, and the talent. There's at least talent there. They might not be great, but there's talent there. Like this Wolves team is not talent-wise is not a bad squad.
Oh, who's been saying that off camera the whole time? Then you guys just tell me they're shit.
They are
shit. Talent-wise, they're not.
You
is
can
what
have
I'm saying.
a really good squad on paper. United have a pretty good squad on paper. They're not doing so hot in the fucking league right now.
Sure. Point taken.
Wolves are just the worst version of that.
Point taken.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're still decent. They can still give you a game.
They're gonna have a fire sale this fucking summer.
Oh yeah.
Especially if they get relegated, they're gonna make no money.
Get Strand Larson as backup for Holland. Who says
Strand Larson's gonna leave?
Yeah.
Gomez is gonna leave. Cunha's gonna leave.
Look at Palace. Palace is in the relegation, and they have like super top talent English guys. I don't think they end up there, but like it's just the margins.
It's tough. It's tough right now.
Razor thin.
Yeah.
All right, we're running along.
Yeah.
I'll speed up United.
Yeah.
3 points behind Chelsea.
Okay.
Terrible start to the season. They're 3 points behind Chelsea. So I think it's just about picking up form. No, it's about picking up form. And this is the point that I'm going to get. The game itself was something different that I haven't seen this season. There was drive and there was competitive nature to every single player on the pitch. Particularly, I was really impressed with Garnacho's. He was great going forward, but I was more impressed by this work rate going back. That's something I haven't seen this season. It's something that's really pissed me off. Nobody was hung out high and dry this game. And I think that there were two things that I noticed that I really enjoyed. And it's weird because I'm going to say this is Martinez as a left back was really good. And there was a certain structure and balance to the way that United were able to press and play out when he was, naturally at a left back position and Dalot was able to push forward. And I think it was weird because the tactical switch to move Marcus to the right with that and have Garnacho be more of a one-on-one take on your man and Marcus be let's have Dalot overlap or have him cut inside, and then you just do whatever makes you incredible, which is like the deliver that he made to Garnacho for the goal.
I think Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. I think with Rashford, I think he had a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the good chances I saw from him came from that half space area, more so playing as more like a bit inside playmaker rather than like a winger. He was spraying in those balls. I really liked it. I really liked his performance, and I thought that ball to Garnacho was phenomenal. Like, it was super good. So
yeah, Rashford's been getting too much shit this year. I mean, he's played a lot of those passes this year because that's not what we're wanting from him, right? Like, everyone's just saying, "Oh, we need him to bag 20, bag 30, whatever that may be." He's played he probably could have like double, triple the amount.
That's the game. Right now. If he can adjust his game to what he needs to adjust it to for the team, then that's what makes him a good player to me.
Yeah.
He's been our best player.
Yes.
He's been our best player, and he proved it again this week. Onana's also been incredible, but that's because we've been shit.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff to be... There was a lot of promising parts of the game, and I thought that... Which is so funny because they've spent so much money on the midfield every year, and it ended up going back to Eriksen and Casemiro, and both of them put in shit. Eriksen's been great, and I think this is just a talking point for like the whole thing is like these aren't his players, and the guys that he trusts, he clearly is going to play. And if that works, then he has to keep playing them. And I want to see Ugarte play, and if he currently doesn't trust him, then that's the nature of the game, right? He didn't buy it. That was an Ineos signing.
You don't want to see Ugarte play.
You have an agenda against him, but he's like worth the money. Multiple clubs have bought him.
It's because Facundo's Uruguayan. That's why I hate him. not because of the United part.
Okay,
I think
but
a
like
point
I
needs
don't
to
know.
be made about. I'm watching the team and just the body language. I didn't see a team that the manager did not have a hold of. It's
Yeah.
very evident when a manager's lost the locker room, and I don't really think he has lost the locker room yet, which is crazy. All this stuff going on, like it's really crazy that he hasn't. But if they're gonna keep putting that effort in like they did last game, if they can do that every game, I think this is just the talking point of United at this point. It's consistency. We've seen high points, we've seen low points. The low points are a little more consistent right now, but if you guys can reach that level against higher opposition and let those younger guys continue to grow, I think you'd be really good.
Yeah, it's about building, and I'm really interested to see. Like, I'm assuming the Johnny Evans thing is just until Euro's back, which he was finally on the pitch today doing individual
I heard.
training. Which,
Good for him. He's good.
if
He can
for
fucking
right
play.
now, if Martinez is the left back because Shaw is a fat, stupid idiot, and Malacia is still nowhere to be found, like then so be it, and I'm okay with that. And I'll give a shout out to Bruno because this was the best game that he's had in a really long time. I don't know where that's been, but he finally did it. And Højlund was a great 9. That was a why I put him in the top 10 performance. Great hold up, great link up, and then he had just a delicate finish that I haven't seen out of him. So
yeah,
I don't. There's not much more for me to say.
I did not watch the game. I saw that finish, by the way. I've been critical of Højlund. It looked like a calm touch, composed finish. That's what you want to see. So the only thing I will say on it, because again, I didn't watch the game, I'm getting 22-23 Chelsea vibes. Like, I used to do that thing every week, Dylan. Oh, we're only 6 points off these, man. And I'm not saying that means it's going to happen. What do I know? But I just wanted to put it out there. I think this is going to be, that's the vibes I'm getting from the team. Strictly a gut feeling, but I think it is not going to get better.
My thing was more of like a media
getting.
perspective, right? Every week it's, oh, United are going to sack Ten Hag, and United suck, and they're the worst team ever. And it's like, that's not, that you're just pointing it out because they're United and they're the biggest club in England. And so that obviously is what's going to grab clicks and attention and stuff. Like, what I was saying is perspective wise, right? Like, I think that the club has gone very internal. And I don't think that the whole talk about Ten Hag being sacked, this, like right now, I don't think there was any truth behind that at any point. I just don't believe it. Because I don't think that they give him an extension and sack him after 7 games. It doesn't fucking make any sense. It doesn't make sense. If they were going to sack him, they'd do it in the winter. And I think that's what they're loading up to do, is if he doesn't go on a stretch of games and can grab some consistency, then they'll probably move off him in December because the season's over. But what I was trying to say about the perspective and like they're only 3 points off Chelsea is like you win against Chelsea in a couple weeks and you're at the same point level as them, right? So
I'm excited for that game. Yeah, agreed.
Like it's just more of like a, can United get to that point? They have the talent of the players to get there. My question is, can they just put it together? And we haven't seen that yet, so that's still a question mark. But
yeah, I don't know, because I know again, like we're building onto something. Like you're not building on Eriksen, Casemiro, Evans. You know what I mean? Eriksen and Evans are guaranteed gone into the year. Like contracts are running out. Casemiro, from what I've heard, United fans don't want him anywhere near the team, but now he's performing again. But up in all of last season, it was like, we need to get rid of him. Saudi, please. So you can't build off that. That's the way I see it. But again, I can very well be proven wrong. United can pull our pants down for all I know. But
can they get the guys in the structure, right, that work? Like, can Ugarte, because Casemiro and Eriksen are not going to be able to play 2 or 3 times a week. That's not
absolutely not.
No,
nope.
That won't happen. But can Casemiro play once a week? Absolutely. Against a Brentford or a team that doesn't have as much talent as like a Liverpool, sure. But if he plays against a Liverpool, he'll get his pants pulled down.
Yeah,
that's the reality of it. But he's put in shifts.
Yeah, 8 points.
And he had a great game. Look, like those guys are performing. And that's just that's more of a reason to like the whole Chelsea theory of stuff is like, look, if you're not performing, you're not going to play. The guys that are performing are going to play, and that currently that's Eriksen and Casemiro. So
I think that's been real good all year.
I think that's just good coaching, right? Like he gets shit for playing him, but like who else is he going to play right now?
I think he gets shit for other things. But yeah, I mean, right? If you have a winning recipe, don't bench him, right? If your job's on the line, keep him out there. So yeah, it's a good performance. Who do you guys have next?
Fenerbahce.
Oh, so you're
In the
getting
Prem, it's
that's
West
already
Ham.
off. West Ham. Okay, see, they suck, but like, where are you playing them at? Is it home or away?
It's in London.
Mm.
You pick
There's
up
a
3
fuck- it's
points
London
there, and
Stadium.
then you.
It's fucking
I
London
guess this is
Stadium.
what I'm saying. Like there could just be a
Yeah.
flip. Like
Yeah,
they just need to find form, and they need to score goals. Look, the beginning of the season, I was talking about them playing good football because they were, and then they hit a couple of really fucking shit performances, and it's just completely changed the narrative. And they haven't been scoring goals. They scored 2 goals. They win a game. They have a performance. Like they kind of just put together it wasn't a full 90 because it's not it yet, but they played a solid 75. That's the first time they've done that this season, where it was like this is a performance.
It's 2-1 against Brentford at home, so just off that, you're like, oh, it's not a crazy win, and then possession's 50-50, but 23 shots to 8, like from what I'm seeing, it looks like there were bright spots in the performance, which is, again,
They
in terms
dominated
of
the
sustainability,
second
you need
half.
performance.
They dominated the second half. It's the best they've looked all season.
Good to hear for you.
Oh,
I'm happy you're happy.
Fuck,
Dylan.
man. I'm not happy, but I'm okay
Happy
with
your
them
team
getting
got
3
the
points. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how happy
you're
I'll be
satisfied with
midweek.
the result.
Yeah. It was about time. This is more of a relief thing than anything. So we'll see. I'm not ready to give up on them like everyone else is.
Okay. Well, I am.
I think we should just jump into the next segment, which is we're gonna blind rank different categories of Premier League players. I'm gonna start off, and I'll do wingers. Then Grant will do strikers, and then Mila will do cams. So I'm gonna give you guys 5 players, and you have to rank them in order.
We're both ranking them
together. Yeah,
Well,
combined.
he's gonna give us
Oh,
one
we
player
gotta do
each.
this together. I got you.
Yes.
Cool.
And
Alright.
then
One list.
yes. Well, wait.
Got it.
One list. You guys are doing them together. You
You
guys
and
have
me
to
are doing them
decide
together, Mila.
together
Okay.
to blind rank
All right,
these
let's hear
5
the first
Eiffel
one.
Tower and
Let's
the
go.
blind
Okay.
ranking.
So I want you guys to blind rank these 5 Premier League wingers, starting with
Wait.
Harvey Barnes.
Oh,
Gotta be 4 or 5, right?
I think
I like Harvey Barnes. He didn't play enough, and he's
I
been
go
hurt a lot.
4.
Yeah, I'm cool with 4.
All right. So he's at 4. I'll throw out the next one, which is Sancho.
Surely 3. He's better than Harvey Barnes, mate. Come on, don't do that. I like Harvey Barnes, by the way, but Harvey Barnes barely plays. What did Harvey Barnes do in the Champions League last year, Mila?
Dude, okay.
What are we doing, bro? He's definitely better
Don't
than
do
Harvey
that.
Barnes. He's
Don't
better
do
than
that.
Harvey Barnes,
They
bro.
were not well equipped for the Champions League. You cannot. Don't do that.
Who's better?
Fine.
You can't tell.
You're gonna put fucking Sancho top 3. It's his fault. It's Grant's fault.
All right.
The third winger is Savio.
What do you think, Mila?
Is he better than Sancho, but number 2, or is he number 5 and he's below
Dude,
Sancho and
He
Barnes?
could be number 1, mate.
No, he's definitely not number 1, mate.
I think I'd have to go 2.
Mila gave me the last one, so I'll give him this one. I like Savio. I would have put him 5 because I
Bro,
think those would be 2
you're gonna
better
put
players.
fucking Sancho over Savio?
I don't agree with that.
Oh my
Hold on, wait a
god,
minute.
Savio
Not
was
that.
one of the best fucking wingers in Europe last year.
You guys did not play the strategic game here. You went with
Fuck
Grant's
you, dude.
glory hunting Sancho thing.
Bro, he's
Stupid
not
ass
worse than Harvey
Sancho.
Barnes, though. He's not worse than Harvey Barnes. Okay,
All right,
Savio's at 2.
So currently Savio 2, Sancho
Mhm.
3, Barnes 4,
Uh-huh.
Bukayo Saka.
He's got to be number 1 in it.
Yeah, he's one.
Yeah, absolutely, no question.
All right.
That's
Which
a lot of
I
fun.
kind of
Sterling.
burned myself here, but Marcus Rashford was the 5th guy. So you guys put Rashford
boy.
below
Sancho should have been in
Barnes
fifth,
and
I
Sancho.
think.
No, we should have
Sancho
put
should have
Barnes
definitely
5th.
been in
We should have
fifth,
put Barnes
bro.
5th.
No.
There's arguments all over the board.
Why?
Our list is spot on.
What? No, what? Like what?
I think Sancho's a better player than Harvey Barnes.
Sancho's played probably more minutes, and he has less output for a better team.
Are we talking about output or like better players? He's played like 4 games. He has 3 assists.
He's played 5 matches. He has 3
3
assists.
assists.
Harvey
Oh,
Barnes
there it
had he's subbed on like fucking
It's
8
the Ran of
times, and he
Williams.
has like fucking
He's just
4
the
goals.
Ran of Williams.
4
I
goals.
just
in
love how we're
DNA.
totally
So like,
Yeah, you're right. He had
dismissing
a
his
big
time.
game.
We're
He had a
just
big game at
dismissing
Brighton
his
against
time at
them.
United. Like it just never happened. Like Sancho
yeah,
at United just never happened.
That's my point, bro.
That's
He should have
this
been
is
5.
yeah.
That's why it's
All
out
right.
there. It's Grant's fault.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Grant,
sure.
go.
I'll
Give
stand
us
on
your
that.
list.
Yeah. Okay. I
Grant-
rate Sancho higher. I think United are a fucking train wreck and attacking players go to die there. So I'm not acknowledging it. Yes.
Grant, I want you to start this by saying the same thing I started with, which is I want you to blind rank these 5 Premier League strikers. That'll make it easy for me to edit.
I'll think about it. All right, guys. I want you to blind rank these 5 Premier League strikers, starting with John Durant.
Oh fuck.
A real fucking good one to start with, isn't it?
Okay, think about this realistically. He's a sub currently. He may project to be number 1 on this list at some point, but the way that Grant's putting him first makes me skeptical, and that's why I want to put him 3.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with 3.
Okay, cool.
Kai Havertz.
5.
Yeah, as a striker, 5.
Easy.
Next one is going to be Dominic Solanke. You have Durant at 3, you have Havertz at 5. Nice. Man, this lineup was good.
Man, this stinks. Is he 2? Is he gonna put 2 players better than Dominic Solanke?
No, there's not that many players better than Dominic Solanke,
All right,
bro.
I'm fine with 2 if
There's
you're
only
fine
like
with
a
2.
4. Yeah, that's good.
I'm fine with 2.
He might even be 1.
God, is he
Who
gonna put
knows what a
is he
Grant
gonna
can
put
do.
Holland on this list, and we're gonna have
Probably
Holland at
not.
4?
No, I'm not
Throwing
putting
Holland.
fucking Holland on. That's the most boring fucking thing I've ever not to. Okay, so we're locking in Solanke at 2. So you have Solanke at 2, Durant at 3, and Havertz at 5. Brilliant. Nicholas Jackson.
4.
He's better, but he's better than Solanke. Or does he play? We were just talking about this. Who is he gonna put above him?
But I think they'd take Durant over him probably.
Would I take Durant over Jackson? What are you saying?
Oh,
How dare you?
is he okay? Realistically, who are the better strikers in the Premier League than Nicholas Jackson right now? Isak,
On
Holland.
form? On form?
Isak's got 2 goals this
Holland.
year. Isak's
He's
got 2
so
goals
good
this year.
though. So good.
I agree.
Him and
Not
Holland,
on
right?
form.
I have no problem putting Nicholas Jackson 1 here.
I think
Because
we
I
have
just
to.
think-
if he's not putting Holland, then yeah, I think we have to.
Yeah, he's not worse
Nicholas.
than Durant. Yeah, Jackson.
We're locking in. I want
Yeah.
someone to confirm it for me. Can someone say that?
We're locking in Nicholas Jackson at 1.
And the last striker is Rasmus.
I'm fine with that because I
think
would
if
have
we're
been
going off form, then
disrespectful.
5. Yeah, he's got 1 goal and
Well, yeah, I'm
Put
okay.
Two
Nicholas
games.
Jackson in.
It's
he's a great
yeah.
goal, but I think that's fine.
That
So
other
that
than-
list is that
Havertz
list is
being
perfect,
above him.
and
You
That
guys
No,
list
we
are
have
is
him at
perfect.
4. We have Hoyland at 4.
Yeah.
Havertz
That list
was
is
auto
perfect.
5. Easy.
Yeah.
that list
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
list
so-
is perfect.
I think you guys. Yeah. So you got
That
Jackson,
list is perfect.
Solanke, Durant, Hoyland, Havertz. Well
It's
played, boys.
perfect.
Way better
That's
than me.
perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. I don't think there's a single change I'm making there.
God, I'm so happy you guys started going to Nicholas Jackson. Who's better, man? Needed that. All right.
All right.
Milars,
Mm.
your time to
Okay.
shine.
I want you guys to blind rank 5 central attacking midfielders, starting with Morgan Gibbs White.
I don't know, Grant. Is this a
4.
4? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was a gut
4.
instinct as a 4. He's nice.
4. Does a lot for a smaller club that goes unnoticed.
Nkunku will be the second one.
He's not a 10, bro. He's not a
But
10.
he's under transfer market as an attacking midfielder.
What position does he play for us?
Bench, left bench.
To be fair, though. He's low-key our top scorer. I think he's actually our top scorer because in Conference
Is
League.
he actually?
Well, Conference League and League.
All right.
Cup.
We'll
Yeah,
take
he's not
out
a 10,
Nkunku.
though.
We'll take out
Yeah.
Nkunku. The
Okay, I was
second
gonna say I
player
have no idea.
Yeah, no, I don't
will
know
be
either.
Kulishevsky. and he has been playing in that 10.
Yes, he has, and
I've
he's been
seen
top. He's been
bright
top
spots.
because I said earlier, I think way back, like he's not that good as a winger, dude. Kulusevski as a midfielder, I've seen the light. I'm willing to put him at 2, but I don't
Wow.
know what else Milo has on this list.
I've got
I think
some
he's been
fucked up feeling Mila's gonna do some shit here, and
Oh, he's totally gonna fuck us over, dude. He's setting us up.
I'm
But
thinking 3 to play the game.
I'm cool with that.
And
but
also
I
because I
praise,
don't
I
know
do
if
wanna
it's
give,
sustainable. No, he's been great.
I do
He's
want to
been
give.
really,
I
really
want to
good.
give him that praise. He's been so good.
Absolutely.
But yeah, three
Pushing
goals.
Madison out of the squad, out of the set.
Well, Madison started, but yeah, they took him out at half because Kulu's indispensable in there. But yeah,
That's
3.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, Kulu 3.
Hmm.
And that's not what you wanted. You wanted me to bite at number 2. Incorrect.
No, I'm picking these on the fly. So
No, me too. That's what I did.
let's go. Eze.
5, mate. He's been
Yeah.
shit this year. Hey, he's got 1 goal contribution.
And they've been terrible, and he's their only
Yeah,
guy.
that's
I
a
don't know. He's the only
I
guy
like him.
on a
I
really
rate him.
bad
Yeah, he's
team.
had a
He's
honking-
never.
No,
I don't
no,
think
no,
he's
no, no,
ever
no.
gonna be.
We were not talking about them being this bad to start the year.
Yeah,
They
we didn't
finished
know
last
they were
year
gonna be
so
this
well.
bad.
They finished last year so well. I
Yes,
had no
that-
reason to believe he would drop in terms
Okay,
of
but I'm not
performances.
talking about past tense. We're talking now.
Yeah,
Talking about
you're
his
pretty-
performances. You're talking about his form now.
Yeah.
He's the only player on that team. No one else is really performing performance-wise.
Is he performing?
He can perform when he has.
He's
like,
a good player.
He
He has not performed to his
moments
standard.
for them, but
I don't
he
think he's
can't
had a
do
good
it
year.
all by himself.
Agreed. He has not had a good year for his
He got
standard.
robbed of a goal also. Like,
And Robert Sanchez gave him 1.
Currently, right, I'm more of just playing the game of this, because I think that you're going to put 2 players better than him. But,
Okay.
Morgan Gibbs
Well,
White's
who
had a better
knows?
year so far, and Kulusevski's had a better year, and we didn't put him at 2, and so that's why he gets dropped to 5 for me.
okay.
Well,
More of just playing the game.
So you have Gibbs White at 4.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
have
Kulusevski at
Eze
3.
at 5 and Kulu
Yes.
at 3.
Great order there. 4, 5, 3.
Now I could just throw you guys off completely.
It's going to be a complete honker here.
No.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go Smith Rowe.
2. Been really good for
So
Fulham.
that means
but
Morgan Rogers is the best.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm
though.
not mad at it either. I'm not mad
at it either.
Number 1.
The only one that was solidified was Morgan Rogers being last. So
I think
how did
so.
he
If
get
we
here?
put Smith Rowe, I'd probably put
probably-
Kulusevski over Smith Rowe.
I was going to say, I'd
probably
probably put Smith Rowe last, and I would have slid everything up.
Okay.
1.
You would put
I
Smith
could
Rowe
see
5?
that.
I would have put him at 5. Realistically, I would have
They're so
put
good.
Morgan Gibbs White at 4, and then I would have put Eze 3. So essentially moving everybody
gotcha.
kind of,
Kulusevski,
yeah.
Yeah,
We just
yeah,
kinda-
yeah. I'm not
we
mad
thought
at the list.
that
I think the
I-
worst list
yeah.
I was involved in with Mila.
That was really funny. I had those 5 just because we've talked about them so much, except for Barnes. Barnes,
Yeah.
I couldn't think of another winger, and I was like,
But
this
I
guy
like
seems
Barnes, and he just
class.
doesn't get to play off the left because of how good Gordon was over there.
Yeah,
You know what I
fair,
mean?
yeah.
So
No, fair.
Barnes has to get in
Fair.
that team to me. But yeah, that was pretty good banter. Yeah, that worked
That was
out.
good
I'm
banter.
fucking horse shit at these games.
All right.
that was
Okay,
fun, though.
well, hey, those are going to be fantastic clips. I hope everyone enjoyed watching them here. They can also watch them on all of our socials. They will be scheduled out.
Send the Havertz shitter to Facunda.
Yeah, the first thing I'm going to do.
Uh,
Move past match week 8 into match week 9. Biggest game of the weekend is, I believe it's Sunday. 2 teams kind of in opposite directions. Liverpool versus Arsenal. Do you guys have any thoughts on the match itself? What you guys think will play out, and then we'll do a combined 11.
2-0 Liverpool.
Is it in London?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Liverpool's first real big test away from home. I'm expecting Arsenal to sit
There's
back.
no threat from Arsenal.
I'm expecting them to
genuinely
play for a
don't
draw.
think there's much to talk about.
I think they're going to play
Genuinely
for a
don't think there's
draw.
much to talk about.
Boring, bro.
Real quick. I'm sorry. There is something to talk about. I wanted to mention it earlier. Ben White's gone by the end of the year. Like he's not better than Timber. He's not close to Timber's level for me. I just don't see him staying there. Or
How
if he
much
wants to be a
time has
backup,
Timber
cool.
spent on
On the bench
Oh,
or
dude, I don't
injury
care.
table?
He's so much better. I just had to get that out there that he's like
That's cool.
he's a
It's the same thing
significant
with
upgrade.
James, though. It's like he's
I
better
wouldn't put him in
when
that
he's
category
there.
yet. I wouldn't put him in
Dude,
that category yet.
He
But
hasn't played that many minutes for the team and he's injured
No,
again.
I'm not wrong. I just think there's levels. I think he is significantly better than Ben White, and we saw that in the Bournemouth
How
game. We probably
many
should have talked
games
about it.
has he played?
Not many, but
He's
look,
probably
I think
played like a combined 400 minutes for Arsenal.
you're not wrong. I went a little too hard there. How about this? Do you think when they're both fit that that's like a headache for the manager, or is that just Timber?
It's
not
a headache. No,
You think it's a headache? I don't think
because
that's
he
close in
hasn't
terms of
proven
quality.
that it. No, I agree. I would play Timber. Arteta hasn't
I would play
shown that he
Timber
did
too. The
that.
headache comes in with Timber. Like, is he gonna break down again if I play him? How much can I play him? Like, you kind of just have to make sure Ben White's ready to go. You can't just have him sit on the bench for when Timber gets injured and just throw him out there.
He's always available.
That's true. I just think he got cooked again against
He
Bournemouth.
doesn't play international football either.
I can't chalk up the performance against Bournemouth because they were playing with 10 men.
No, but I'm saying like when they were playing with 10 men against City, defensively they looked very sound, except for Calafiori.
This has nothing
He was
to
the
do
only
with
one that kept
Liverpool,
getting cooked.
Arsenal.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. I think Ben White.
This
got
has
cooked and
nothing to do. I'm bringing us
he's
back
not
on
at
track.
that level. Sure.
I just can't see Arsenal playing any other way than a
What do they
0-0
have?
draw.
Well, yeah, of course. But that's not going to happen. I guarantee
Salah's
you.
not allowing that, man. Salah's not allowing
I
that.
think it's going to be interesting to see what Slot does because he's been pretty flexible and
What Slot does? Yeah.
Dude, he needs to drop Szoboszlai. That's what they need to do. That's what
he's
they
been
need
good
to do.
up until that last game though. He hasn't been bad.
I genuinely think Harvey Elliott's better than him.
No, he's been good up until that last game.
I
There's
think
no
Harvey Elliott's
Saliba.
also good.
There's no Saliba.
There's no Saliba.
Oh, I forgot about that
It
too.
takes
Ben White's
one
playing center back.
Gabriel misstep for them to be another red card in the fucking hole.
Ben White's playing center
don't
back.
see
probably,
anything.
man.
I don't see anything.
Are they going to play
coming from
Calafiori there?
Arsenal next week?
No, they're
Is
not
he
playing
fit?
two left footers.
Oh,
Calafiori's
fit,
fit, I
right?
think. Yeah,
Okay.
you're probably
Yeah, he
going
he
what,
played in the
Timber,
last game.
White, Gabriel, Calafiori.
Timber's fit?
and three.
No.
Probably. They're always hurt until the lineup comes out and then they all start. So, like,
That's
I expect
true.
them to play.
Is Saka
So-
back?
Okay.
No,
No.
maybe.
I don't think. Maybe
That's
he
the
is
only
back for
way that they
Liverpool.
have a chance.
But
Yeah,
you can't
but-
have one guy against the best defense in the league right now. Like, you can't have.
It is a-
He's gonna
it is a
die.
very
He's
good
gonna die
defense.
out there.
No,
You know who
no,
gave
no, no, no,
Calafiori
no.
problems, though?
Look, they're fantastic. That's just how highly I've rated Saka to start the season. I've been on that type of wave the entire time. He's been incredible. He's been carrying that
Freaking-
They
terrible
got to get him on
attack.
that
They're
corner,
the
man.
least offensive-minded team
Carried him from
in
the
the
corner.
league against a team that's conceded 3 goals.
No, I'm
3.
totally
I
on
don't
the same
understand.
wavelength.
I know.
The set
I'm just
the
ranting
set
at this
pieces,
point.
Yeah, the set pieces are a good point, but Liverpool are also the best aerial team in the league, statistically.
Dude, they're
I saw a
fucking-
stat about
they
that.
have
They
some
have
monsters.
Konate and Van Dijk. Those guys are
Exactly.
animals.
What more do you
So,
need? And
I'm
not
not
to mention,
worried about the
Gravenberch
set
is a
piece.
pretty big physical.
I'm sure
like,
they're going to
presence.
score a set piece because I said that. But yeah, when you've got
No.
Van Dijk, Konate there, like, that's sound.
Does
Um,
Arteta have the chops to make a big call, or is he gonna
No,
What,
he does.
sit back?
This is like what
What
we
choice
talked
does he
about
have?
earlier. What
Yeah.
does he do? He
I
can't
think
do
I think he
anything.
has to drop Havertz back into the midfield.
Then play Jesus though. Like what?
This
You can't play
look, he doesn't have
Jesus.
any options. I'm just curious if he's gonna do anything other than play for a draw.
Absolutely not.
No.
Playing for a draw at home against Liverpool.
Bro, they did it away at Bournemouth, bro. Who cares?
This is what they're fine. If their fans are fine with this, then he can get away with doing this as
Well,
much
because
as he
there's
wants.
gonna be,
Most people won't stand for this in a title
Yeah, there's
race.
going to be a marginal call made by an official. They're going to lose, and it's going to be the official's fault. Like you said, like you're
Yeah, you
asking
can't
for it
blame
by setting
Arteta.
up this way. Maresca went up to Anfield and said, "This is how we play, motherfucker." You know what I mean? Did we win?
I think my question
No.
is more of like, I know how Liverpool can win, and I know how they can get 3 points. But how can Arsenal, with the injuries
Corner.
that they've got to their two best, but how can they win tactically? Not like just a corner, but like how can they see out and get 3
Throw
points at
Sterling
home?
at Trent. Hopefully, he wins corners. Start Sterling
On the left.
I think that. Yeah.
Start Sterling on the left and have him attack
That's
Trent in
fucking
transition.
terrible.
I don't fucking know. They all
Hey, this
stink.
is a good.
On paper.
That's the type of question I'm asking.
Martinelli?
Do you
someone
have
run at
anything?
him? Martinelli running at him? I guess yeah.
Who's
Martinelli
playing
on
the
the
right
left.
wing? Who played the right wing?
Sterling played the right
Sterling
wing
played the
last
right
week.
wing.
Sterling
And then he got
Martinelli,
hooked when the red card happened. Or like just
Yeah,
at
that's
half, right?
right.
I think
Well, we haven't seen the best
I
of him
would
yet.
throw
We said we're gonna
Jesus
see
on the
the
wing
best
at that point and just hope he fucking can get into his winger bag.
Yeah, man.
Some
We're
of the
about to see
best football I've seen him play is at right wing, so
Yeah.
I think you take a chance there. Arteta was there for that too, I think. Like, I don't know why he doesn't fucking try that.
He's probably not fit enough to play out there.
Dude, he doesn't even trust his other winger though. Like Martinelli barely gets any love in that team anymore. And Trossard is not a starter. He's just not.
What you guys aren't mentioning is Sterling did say you're about to see the best of me. So is that going to be against Liverpool?
Maybe.
I think we trust the
on the
man's
right
word.
wing.
You're about to see the best of
the thing is,
Sterling.
they bought him. He could still be good. I don't think it's
hope they buy him.
necessarily over. No. Let me finish. They didn't do anything to bring out the best in him.
Sure.
What was the fucking point of buying him? To have him cut in on the left and from the left side and score goals? That's not what we want him for. And then who's he fucking delivering the ball to?
Kai Havertz. That got us 12 plays.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
12.
They can't do anything, in my opinion. I think they're going to have to.
The result. I wouldn't be surprised if I got a draw out of this game, but I mean, like you said,
if no Odegaard and Saka, I see only a loss. It's the only thing you can see, which is super tough because I need Liverpool to drop points, but I think there's a better chance of one of these lower level teams taking points off Liverpool than Arsenal right now.
All right, so give me a quick prediction then. Scoreline.
2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool.
Shit. Honestly, if Arsenal get a red card, I could see the fucking which they will.
That's what talking about. 4-0.
No Saliba.
No Saliba.
That was a Rolls Royce. Good point.
A bunch of center backs running around out there trying to guard these wingers. These four wingers. I don't know, man. I don't think they're gonna be. This is gonna be a wake up game, in my opinion.
I need Darwin to start.
If Jota's hurt, he will, and he'll light them up.
Darwin looks really good against us.
I don't know. It's hard to say 4-0 though. I think when they're gonna play a low block, I'll go 2-0. I think that's the fairest one, but
yeah, that's right.
I don't see them scoring unless it's crazy, like outside the run of play type counter attack, Kai Havertz bang or something. Like I don't know. It's gonna take a miracle. My prediction mainly though, boring game.
Yeah,
snoozer.
I'm on my feet for Chelsea Newcastle beforehand. You know what I mean?
I'm going 1-0. I think that he's gonna he's gonna trot out like a similar lineup that he did against Bournemouth. I don't think there's gonna be a red card.
It's so hard to do that
because of just the outrage of how many big games
there's
they played in with
Saliba.
one.
You guys are it's a major factor in this.
No.
They're starting the game without him. It's a lot of pressure on Gabriel the entire game. If I'm Slot, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run everyone straight at Gabriel. Try to work up his temper, get him carded early, so either he's gonna get sent off, gonna get Yang, or he's gonna be walking on eggshells the entire game. Like that just seems like the smart thing to do to me. Especially when they know it's in their head now. Whether it's corruption, whether it's them, it's in their head. They're thinking like we're probably gonna get a fucking red card, so we need to be careful. Like they're not gonna be 100%. If they get another one, I think they lose it. That's where I think the 4-0 comes in. If that red card comes in, they're going to lose all composure, especially if it's Gabriel. So
he'll probably be the captain.
I'm just basing it off the fact that red cards aren't. Yeah, it's been more normal now, but like they're not as normal. How
many were there last week?
There was a ton. No. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like, but like statistically, over the course of football, red cards are not something that happens all the time. I think they're going to play it super safe, and I'm interested to see how Liverpool play against that really, really low block without like a true target man. Because they don't really like Darwin's going to play, but he's not that like they haven't they've played against low blocks, but it's not with the same quality talent as Arsenal's like low block's going to be. It's crazy. I'm talking about a team competing for a title with a low block, but I just think that they squeak one by. I think it comes in like the 60th, and then they just see out the game. This is a different Liverpool too, like in terms of possession. Like they're not gonna make it a basketball match. They're gonna control the game.
Yeah, they're not gonna
Liverpool is
go
gonna
for
control the game.
Well, they're not a team that's going to consistently just go for it. At a certain point, they'll close up shop, if you will, and just kind of go, hey, let's control this game. Don't take too many chances. Yeah,
away from home, I think their current midfield is playing better than Arsenal's, and I think they're gonna get a goal, and then they're just gonna pass it out and let Trent, if the occasional cross comes into play. But I think that they just see it out. I think it's just it's a 1-0, but it's a dominant 1-0.
I
don't know.
2-0 is a very similar scoreline, like in terms of.
I know.
No, it's a different 2-0.
Not so much the score. I just think, I don't know. What I would like to see at the game is definitely Slot trying to call their bluff. Like, you're not.
I want to see.
This is what the title race is about. I want to see him do that. Obviously, we couldn't do that. We couldn't break their low block. I do think Liverpool's set up a little better to do so. Like we've talked about, there was a lot of emphasis on Haaland in our squad this year. When we played them, they're probably one of the better teams in the world, locking up Haaland. Gabriel and Saliba do a really good job. So when it comes to just rapid guys that Liverpool have and the creativity all around, I think they're going to have one up on Arsenal. I really don't think it's going to be a stressful game for Liverpool. And I know we've been talking about prove-it games, but wait, what? Diaz?
Do you think Diaz starts?
Dude, I don't think it matters which of them start. I really don't. I think when you look at outside, when you take Saliba out of that Arsenal lineup in the back, I'm not moved by any of them. None of them are like world class, in my opinion. I think Gabriel's more of a complementary piece, very good center back, but without Saliba in there, he doesn't do the job for me. So
different.
We'll see it. I think it's a big prove-it game for Calafiori if he does play. So that might be a big one. He seems like he can rip one out of nothing, so maybe that could be a factor in it. But I wouldn't want to be an Arsenal fan this weekend.
No,
I would never want to be an Arsenal fan.
The wheels could start to fall off here. We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Sure hope so.
And it might be this week. My light turned off, which is awesome.
Boo!
I know. Oh, nice. Nice little thing there. Yeah. Well, now I'm just in the dark, which is sick.
Okay. Well, I think we can call it. Unless you guys have any more input.
Do we want to quickly ramble through a combined 11?
Arsenal Hall.
Not
Arsenal
even,
Hall.
honestly. I'm so angry about their team.
But yeah. Arsenal stinks,
mate.
With fit players or non, like...
Oh, with fit players,
current.
Current. Okay, yeah, no.
Because I'm talking about this specific game.
Raya gets in over Kelleher.
Yeah,
if it's Kelleher against Chelsea, it's a different story, but sure, yes, I'll allow that. Raya's meant to go. Except, he was horrible last
That's all I take.
Jeez.
That's literally all I take.
Right. Yeah. You wouldn't take any other player?
I'll put Timber at left back.
Timber's not playing.
Fit.
The entire... that is it.
The entire back line
Liverpool 11 and the goalkeeper is in there off the fact that Alisson recently got hurt.
Yeah.
With Jota out, do we give Havertz some credit in terms of being the only Arsenal player that's been decent?
I
striker?
think we can do that.
Yeah,
No,
because Darwin hasn't played, and
Darwin hasn't.
He actually did more angry
season.
Things in that last Chelsea game. That GIF is fantastic.
Darwin put in so many tackles. He put in a shift. I know it's not what you're asking your striker to do. He was everywhere, bro. He was just coming from behind, just give me that. Like Darwin was all over the place.
Very funny because that's the stuff that Arsenal fans say about Havertz, and that's the thing that you hate that they say about most. Is that he put in a shift running around.
No, but it was so comical because like our pivot or one of our pivot players would be on the ball past that first phase of the three defenders, and he just comes sprinting in and takes it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Darwin's fucking sick.
All right, so the combined 11 is just Raya, Liverpool defense, Liverpool
all
midfield,
the outfield player,
Liverpool wingers.
No, Jota, bro. We don't know he's hurt. Put Jota back.
He came off.
I will look right now.
Didn't he come off at half? And foot champs this weekend. He can't play. He can't.
came
He
off in
can't
the
play.
30th minute.
He can't
came off
play.
in the
He has
30th
foot
minute.
champs. He
Well,
literally
take my
has to
name
go
off
play
that
FIFA.
combined 11. It's not combined, mate. I didn't sign off Havertz going up top. Give me Jota.
You already have a signed 11 with
Nope.
Havertz up top. It happened already.
Nope.
Yep, it happened already. Well, actually, it
Fake.
didn't happen. It's actually corrupted, not there.
Ooh.
Just like your win in the Guess Who.
Ah, you admitted it. You admitted it.
I didn't admit to anything. It's not there.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Uh,
It's a rib injury. He could be back in a few days.
yeah,
Jota.
fuck you guys.
We'll throw
He
it
Jotter's
out.
up top.
That sat on. That's what happened. And then he.
I
he's
know,
got.
but
He's
Yeah,
got
bruised
foot champs.
ribs,
He's not playing.
Nah,
you
you know
can
what?
live with.
You know what? You know what? He pulled on Tosin's shirt. That's what he asked for.
Yeah, I don't think we throw in anyone else.
Yeah, Raya, congrats, mate. The best keeper in the world's hurt, so you're in our combined 11.
Yeah. All right.
Add
Well,
it to the cabinet.
a long
He's been
Clash of
phenomenal.
Club
Yes,
episode here.
except for last game. Yeah.
Yeah,
A long one. We went almost an hour 30. That's pretty impressive. Can't believe we chatted for
Yeah.
that long.
First time?
No, I think we have one that's also pretty similar in length, but I don't think that was planned. This one was a planned long episode.
Yeah, we just missed you so much. Dylan.
Yeah. No, dude, I love being on this pod with you guys. It's fantastic.
It means more.
It does mean more. All right. Well, this was episode 10. We are Clash of Clubs, and we will see you guys in the next one. If I can get
You
this.
like that?
Words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal! Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent! Potentially life-changing! That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.